Did you know that after 60 years of age, the brain begins to lose its ability to naturally produce melatonin, and that this can make you spend years sleeping poorly without even realizing the real reason? The problem is that the body doesn't give a clear warning. It just gradually dims your energy. You wake up tired, irritable, with a heavy head, and start thinking it's normal to age this way. But it's not. A study from the National Sleep Foundation showed that nearly 50% of seniors have chronic insomnia, and that this increases the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, cognitive decline, and silent depression by up to 70%. Has this ever happened to you? Going to bed tired, sleepy, but as soon as your head touches the pillow, your mind lights up like a bulb. Tossing and turning with restless legs and racing thoughts, looking at the clock, seeing that it's 2 in the morning, then 4 in the morning, and the body simply can't shut down. Or worse, sleeping for hours, but waking up feeling like you didn't rest at all. If you identified with any of these signs, then this video is for you. Today, you will learn the 6 simple, natural, and powerful steps that a very special character discovered. Steps that completely transform the quality of his sleep in old age. No strong pills, no magic formulas. These are habits applied throughout the day that any senior can do, and that make the body finally return to sleeping the way it deserves, with peace, depth, and true rest. But one of these people decided to break this cycle, and today you will hear his story. His name is Senhor Álvaro. For a long time, he believed that sleeping poorly was just another effect of aging. The nights were long, confusing, and tiring. He went to bed feeling sleepy, but as soon as he lay down, his body stayed alert. His mind would race with thoughts, his heart would speed up, and rest simply wouldn't come. In the few hours he managed to sleep, he would often wake up with aches, nightmares, or simply in a state of alertness, as if his body was on constant watch. During the day, he felt like he was dragging himself around. His eyes were heavy, his head felt foggy, and his memory would fail. Tired of relying on medications that left him groggy, he sought professional guidance and heard something that would completely change his routine. Your sleep doesn't start at night, it's built throughout the day. That was when everything made sense. Instead of waiting for nightfall to try to sleep better, he began to guide his own body from the moment he woke up. The therapist explained that there are 6 essential steps that, if followed throughout a single day, can prepare the brain and body for deep, continuous, and natural sleep, even in old age. He decided to test it. He woke up and applied the first step right away in the morning. Then, throughout the day, he followed the other habits, one at a time, respecting the right pace. That very night when he lay down, something different happened. His body seemed calmer, his mind quieter, and sleep finally came. Deep, uninterrupted, restorative. It was then that he understood. Sleeping well in old age is not a matter of luck. It is a choice built with the right stimuli at the right time. Step 1, light in the eyes and body in motion. Senhor Álvaro's day started with the most decisive step. He opened the window as soon as he woke up and let the natural light touch his face for at least 15 minutes. Then, even before breakfast, he took a few light steps around the house, moving his body and activating the muscles in his legs and back. It seems too simple to have any effect, but it was precisely this gesture that gave the first signal to the brain that a new cycle had begun. The human body operates based on an internal clock called the circadian rhythm, and the main way to reset this clock is through natural light. Sunlight inhibits the production of melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep, and stimulates the release of cortisol at healthy levels, helping the body to wake up with energy. When this light enters through the eyes early in the morning, it sends a clear message to the hypothalamus. It's daytime. You can wake up strong because rest is scheduled for later. Studies from Stanford University show that seniors who expose themselves to sunlight within the first 2 hours after waking can regulate their nighttime sleep much more easily than those who stay in dark environments in the morning. In addition, light body movement right after waking also stimulates circulation, warms up the joints, and helps reduce the stiffness that many elderly people feel in their legs and back when getting out of bed. There is no need to walk around the block or do heavy exercises. Senor Álvaro simply walked around inside the house for a few minutes, stretched calmly, opened his shoulders, and took deep breaths with the window open. It was as if he were telling his body, "Today is going to be different." This step didn't require effort, but it required intention. And it was with that intention that he prepared the biological ground so that 12 hours later, his body would know exactly when to shut down. Step 2, the right fuel to wake up the brain and lower anxiety. After opening the window, moving his body, and signaling to his brain that the day had started, Senor Álvaro went straight to the kitchen to prepare a strategic breakfast. No white bread with margarine or strong black coffee. He understood that if he wanted to sleep better at night, he needed to choose foods that would help balance neurotransmitters right from the morning. The second step was to start the day with tryptophan pointed in the right direction. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid that serves as the raw material for the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for the feeling of well-being and mood regulation. And serotonin, in turn, is converted into melatonin when the sun sets. In other words, if the body doesn't have enough tryptophan in the morning, it won't have enough serotonin during the day, and even less melatonin at night. That's why so many seniors spend the day anxious and the night restless, without realizing that it all started with a nutrient-poor breakfast. A study published in the Journal of Psychiatry and Neuroscience demonstrated that diets rich in tryptophan significantly increase serotonin production and improve sleep quality, especially in older adults. For this, Senor Álvaro's breakfast came to include 3 key ingredients: ripe banana, oats, and a spoonful of pumpkin seeds. The banana is rich in natural tryptophan, as well as potassium, which helps regulate neuromuscular function. Oats provide slow-absorbing carbohydrates, which support the gradual release of energy and help transport tryptophan to the brain. And pumpkin seeds, in addition to also containing tryptophan, are rich in magnesium, an essential mineral for relaxation and emotional balance. To complement it, he would drink a cup of chamomile and fennel tea, not to induce sleep in the morning, but to help control excess cortisol, the stress hormone which, when released too strongly in the early hours of the day, causes irritability, agitation, and mental confusion. This step was simple but strategic. While most people associate sleep only with nighttime, Senor Álvaro understood that the body needs chemical peace throughout the day in order to know how to rest when night falls. By feeding the brain with the right nutrients in the morning, he reduced anxiety, stabilized his mood, and created the ideal conditions so that, when evening came, the mind would be ready to shut down. Step 3, body in motion, mind at rest. Around 10 o'clock in the morning, Senor Álvaro would go out for a light walk, always outdoors. This was the third step, moving the body so that the mind could rest later. He didn't do it as exercise, but as part of a neurological regulation ritual. Physical movement during the day helps balance the autonomic nervous system, which controls alertness and relaxation. Additionally, walking under daylight prolongs sun exposure, reinforcing the brain's signal that the body is active, which promotes proper production and use of serotonin. During his walks, he avoided stimuli like cell phones or radios. The focus was on breathing, on the sensation of his feet touching the ground, and on the rhythm of the body. Walking, for him, became a kind of moving meditation. Studies from the Sleep Health Journal show that seniors who engage in light walking for at least 20 minutes in the morning have better nighttime sleep efficiency and shorter sleep latency. In other words, they fall asleep faster. Movement also helps reduce cortisol levels and activates the release of endorphins, which bring a sense of pleasure and reduce the alert state that often invades the mind during the early hours of the night. The important thing here wasn't speed or distance. The goal was to keep the body functioning, like a system that needs to be activated regularly so it doesn't rust. Over time, this step created a new physiological routine. The body knew that after physical activity in the morning, a calmer rhythm would follow in the afternoon, leading to deep rest at night. The brain began to understand the cycle, and sleep, once unregulated, began to obey. Step 4. The slowdown that teaches the body to sleep. Around 5 in the afternoon, Senhor Álvaro would begin the 4th step of his routine, gradually lowering the speed of the environment, his mind, and his body. This step was essential to teach the body that the day was coming to an end. Instead of waiting for sleep to arrive from exhaustion, he would prepare the scene so the body would naturally fall into the right rhythm, without a shock. The first adjustment was lighting. He avoided white lights and brightly lit environments. He turned off ceiling lights, leaving only lamps on with warm, soft lighting. Even more importantly, he stayed away from cell phone and television screens without a blue light filter. This artificial light, common in electronic devices, inhibits the natural production of melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep. A study published by Harvard Medical School showed that exposure to blue light between 6 in the evening and 11 at night can delay melatonin release by up to 90 minutes, directly affecting the quality of sleep in adults over 60. The second point was the choice of activities. No handling tasks, replying to messages, or watching stressful content. He chose to do calm, predictable, and quiet things. Sometimes he would read a passage from a light book, listen to soft instrumental music, or simply remain in silence, walking slowly around the house. He also used that time to slow down his breathing. He would inhale deeply, mentally count to 4, and exhale slowly, training his body to enter a restful state even before lying down. This step taught the brain that alertness was no longer necessary. And the most interesting part is that over time, the body began to respond on its own. Sleep didn't arrive by chance, it was built in advance. Senhor Álvaro realized that by reducing stimulation hours beforehand, the body began to follow the internal clock. Sleep stopped being an effort and began to reflect the environment he had intentionally created. Step 5. The dinner that induces sleep before even lying down. The 5th step in Senhor Álvaro's routine happened at the moment when many people make the biggest mistake of the day: dinner. For years, he ate late and heavily, with greasy dishes full of meat, flour, and sweets. He believed it would leave him satisfied, but in reality, he was sabotaging his own sleep. When he decided to change, he understood that the body needs lightness in order to rest. Sleeping requires smooth digestion, balanced body temperature, and a slowed metabolism, exactly the opposite of what happens after heavy evening meals. So he began to eat dinner at the same time every evening, around 6:30 in the evening, and adopted a simple rule: light, nutritious meals with foods that promote the natural production of melatonin. Most nights, he prepared a plate with boiled pumpkin, sautéed spinach, a bit of brown rice, and a spoonful of olive oil. When he wanted something more comforting, he would make a warm soup with sweet potato, onion, turmeric, and mint. No fried foods, no sugar, no excess animal protein. He also included foods rich in natural melatonin, such as walnuts, cherries, boiled eggs, or a bit of kiwi. A study published in the journal Nutrients showed that the consumption of melatonin-rich foods can significantly improve sleep quality, shorten the time it takes to fall asleep, and increase deep sleep duration, especially in adults over 60. These foods, when combined with a dark and quiet environment, act as true natural sleep inducers. Another important detail was food temperature. He avoided foods that were too hot or too cold. The warm soup helped his body gradually lower internal temperature, making it easier to fall asleep. After dinner, he ate nothing else, only drank a small glass of warm water with a few drops of lemon to help digestion. Over time, his body adapted. His metabolism slowed down, his mind became more serene, and when it was time to go to bed, sleep was already ready to happen. Step 6, the final ritual that leads the body into deep sleep. Senhor Álvaro's last step began about 30 minutes before going to bed. He would sit on the edge of the bed in a dark and quiet room and begin a sequence of simple, deep breathing. He would inhale slowly through his nose, counting to 4, hold the air for 2 seconds, and exhale through his mouth, counting to 7. He repeated the cycle for 5 minutes, calmly, feeling his body slow down with each exhale. This practice activated the parasympathetic system, responsible for lowering heart rate, calming the mind, and preparing the body for deep rest. Studies published in Frontiers in Psychology show that controlled breathing techniques significantly improve sleep quality in seniors, reducing the time it takes to fall asleep and increasing the duration of deep sleep phases. When he felt that his body was still restless or that his mind was taking longer to settle down, Senhor Álvaro would turn to a gentle support. He would take a small dose of melatonin, between 0.3 milligrams and 1 milligram, always under medical guidance. It wasn't something he used every day, but only when he noticed that his internal clock needed a small adjustment. Melatonin helped complement the natural process he had been building since the morning, especially because, with aging, the production of this hormone decreases considerably. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine confirmed that melatonin supplementation in seniors improves sleep latency, stabilizes nighttime cycles, and increases total deep sleep time. With his body relaxed and his brain properly signaled, he would lie on his side, close his eyes, and let sleep come naturally, without forcing it, without anxiety. It was no longer a struggle to sleep. It was a process built step by step throughout the entire day. And now, finally, rest would arrive, deep, continuous, and restorative. Today, at 89 years old, Senhor Álvaro sleeps like he hasn't in decades. Sleepless nights, a racing mind, and constant exhaustion are all in the past. Now every night is an invitation to true rest, and every morning is a quiet celebration of life renewed. He learned that deep sleep is not a matter of luck, nor of medication. It is a daily construction, made of smart choices, respect for the body, and consistency. Sleeping well in old age is not a privilege for a few. It is a right, and it's within reach for those who choose to care for their own life cycle. Conclusion: we've reached the end of this story that serves as an example for all of us. If you've made it this far and enjoyed what you learned from Senhor Álvaro, write in the comments, "I deserve deep sleep," and rate this story from 0 to 10. Remember, everything can be transformed and age is just a number. See you in the next video, and may God bless you.